Hello, my name is Michael Brooks. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Sullivan County Legislature, and welcome to the spring edition of Let's Talk Sullivan. And today, we're going to vary a little bit from what we've done in the past. Our chairman was unable to join us today, but we have a couple of guests, Adrienne Jensen and Michelle Huck. Adrienne will speak to the Human Rights Commission, and Michelle Huck will give us updates on the Sunset Lake LDC. And we have Adrienne Jensen. She is the newly appointed Executive Director of our Human Rights Commission. So today, Adrienne's going to put a face to the name, if you will. So Adrienne, welcome to Sullivan County.
Thank you very much.
And take it away, explain to the folks who you are and a little bit about your approach to the Human Rights Commission.
Well, so my name's Adrienne Jensen, and I'm really happy to meet everybody out there. And for better or sometimes not so better, I will be happy to meet you if you come to my office. I'm super thankful to the legislators for reinstating the office, because I think it's extremely important, and we've had a period of time where it didn't exist, and it's back in existence now. I think that a lot of people don't really know what human rights are, even though it seems like such a simple concept or idea, and also what this office does. So maybe I'll just take a quick moment to explain that. Human rights is the most basic rights that should be present and available for every human in Sullivan County, in New York State, in the United States, in the world. Mm-hmm. So, people should have a right to education, good education. People should have a right to have housing. They should have a right to have transportation and not be food insecure. Basic things like that. Those are human rights. My office specifically deals with complaints that come in that are related to protected classes, which there's a large list of who is in the protected class. Veterans are in the protected class. People who are disabled are in the protected class. People of color are in the protective class. Women are in the protective class. People who are aging are in the protective class. And at some point in one's life, it involves everyone.
Absolutely.
Right? So those are the issues, but it kind of goes even a little bit farther than that. There are definitely many people who call my office who, I was just saying a little while ago, have just gotten to the end of their list. Right. And they feel like they deserve a particular right, and they just can't figure out, what do I do? And so those people are people who often will end up calling my office, and it may not be something that I can direct a formal complaint to, for instance, the New York State Division of Human Rights. It may be something that I can work with them and help them mediate or, investigate and look through. It may be something that I can redirect them in another area. So that's another thing that I do. I am really excited because I have a commission finally coming sometime soon, and I will touch on something a little, just lightly controversial, which is that I know that there were some issues prior to me coming here with the commission, and we're going to see, but I'm pretty confident that we're going to be successful in bringing about a good commission that, and I know the legislators are going to, support me on that. So,
Absolutely.
A commission that is there to help educate the public. And still the complaints and what have you will come directly to me. But this is a way to kind of have feelers out in all areas of the county. I don't know, do you have any other questions you want to ask
Well, I
me?
was just going to let the folks know that the legislature is going to bring a name forward, and I think every legislator has someone from the district that they have in mind. Those names will be given to Adrienne, and will form the commission. So there again, each legislator, 9 of us, will bring a person forward, and we are excited about constituting the commission that way and having Adrienne be our executive director. Extremely excited about what this means to human rights in the county. And Adrienne, I've met you a few times, and I am, when I say I'm excited that she's heading this up, it's an understatement, because I am. And I too share your optimism on giving a voice to the many different folks that may come to you and the commission for help, assistance, what have you. And so I don't really have a questions per se. I just enjoy the fact seeing you introduce yourself to folks, and we will see more of Adrienne in the future as the commission gets together, which is going to be happening very, very soon. And when we actually start engaging folks. And I know you've already met a lot of people and have talked to a lot.
Yes, I have.
And
and still more to meet. Yeah.
So Adrienne is ready to go. So, but I appreciate the fact you came here to introduce yourself. And go
One
right
other
ahead.
thing that I was just thinking I wanted to say, which was that I just want to make sure also that if someone gets a telephone call from me, that they're not. I get the voice that gets very tight and goes, "How can I help you?" You know, and I'm not calling anyone to point a finger and to degrade anyone in any sort of way. The goal of the Human Rights Commission is to bring the county together, not to divide them. So, you know, there may be situations where a little education might be helpful, and a little bit of communication and listening to each other. And it's not always easy, and it's not always pretty.
Right. No.
But you know, I just want to make sure that people know that.
No, and I appreciate that, because I mean, in today's world, things sometimes can get very, the temperature can get ratcheted up quite hot.
Yeah.
And I think what you said, as far as the commission being a commission yourself, bringing Sullivan County together, not dividing, and that's one of the main reasons why we want this commission. And we're excited that you're there, and so, well, thank you, Adrienne.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks once again for Adrienne stopping by and sharing her thoughts about her new position as executive director. We truly do look forward to what she brings, as well as the commission going forward. We'll be in a good place. Now joining me is Michelle Huck. Michelle, as many of you know, has worked at the county for
19 years.
19 years. Michelle, one of her many duties, she is the secretary and treasurer of the Sunset Lake LDC. Michelle is joining us today just to give us some updates on the LDC and what's happening in Liberty.
Okay.
Michelle?
So the LDC authorized the contract to go forward with Infinite Care Management, and the legislature also authorized that to move forward. So right now we're just in the negotiation phases. Our attorneys are talking with their attorneys. We're kind of ironing out some issues that we have, nothing major. It's been actually a very good working group. And then once we actually have the final consulting agreement, then that will be presented and they'll be ready to move forward.
Okay.
With that. So we have a lot of county staff looking at it from the county's perspective as well. So
Okay.
it's definitely moving forward, and we are, hoping within the next month or so to have that finalized.
All right. Excellent. And there's been obviously there's been visits from Infinite Care here,
Absolutely.
and so they're getting very familiar with the grounds, the building, the people.
Yes. We have some staff up there now through the finance and MDS contract that we had. A very good reception from the staff up there. Sal Klein and I went up there a couple weeks ago. Sal Klein is the CEO of Infinite Care, and he really embraced the staff and talked to them and got some great ideas from them. And he was very impressed with the staff that he met as well. So
I know anybody who, I mean, I've gone by, and I know we had a couple legislators went to their Ulster County facility, and it's truly remarkable what has been accomplished up there with Infinite Care. And,
Absolutely.
And look forward to that same type of change, if you will, here. I think it's all good. So maybe just explain real quickly the recent the building part of the care center that now Infinite Care is part of.
So right now, Infinite Care is helping to run our finance department and the MDS department. So we still have one staff that's dedicated to MDS, but she's actually being trained, and they're working with her to kind of move that along in the direction that they need it to go in, because what happens in that department actually affects them for 6 months.
Okay.
So the rates that they get are in effect for 6 months. So that'll benefit them to be part of that process right now.
And for those who don't know, what does MDS mean?
Minimum data set.
Wow. Wow. That's
We've learned a lot.
I would never have guessed that. Yeah, because we're full of acronyms, so that's just good. It's a good point of reference for the folks that are watching.
Yes.
So, one final question, Michelle. Is there when's the next scheduled LDC meeting? I know you're waiting on a few things, but
Yeah, so right now the consulting agreement, once that's actually finalized and all the issues are worked out, I foresee the LDC meeting right after that.
okay.
To kind of get back together and regroup and make any final decisions that we need to make to move forward.
All right. I'd like to thank Michelle for coming in and joining us and updating us on the LDC, Sunset Lake LDC. In an effort to get back to near normalcy, the county buildings and offices are open. You can come into the government center without a mask, providing you've been vaccinated and it's been at least 2 weeks since your final vaccination shot. So the rules kind of vary by facility, but they're posted when you actually go into an office such as the DMV. So we ask, if you come, just be conscious of the rules that will be posted. To date, speaking of vaccinations, we have in Sullivan County, that's collectively, have vaccinated 27,409 people. There are 32,529 people with at least one shot. So it's been very successful, and thank you for everyone that has participated in helping us get to this point, because truly it enables us obviously to reopen, and we want to do that as quickly as possible. First subject I'm going to get into real briefly, there's not a lot of new news, but is about the Sullivan County Wireless Broadband project, of which I am the chairman of. Like I said, there's not a lot of new news. We're waiting on some funding. That's the largest part of the equation. We have a 7-member board, and we've gone through RFPs for the technical installation part of that, and we have a vendor that will be doing that for us. And we are proceeding forward with discussions on a marketing concern, but no determination has been made as far as that goes yet. A lot of work being done, and we're moving ahead. Obviously not as quickly as some would like, but it's still a process that is, and a project that's still in motion. Wanted to share with you our litter pluck. The litter plucking of the trails is going to be taking place on our O&W rail trail on June 5th. There will be opening remarks from special guests. That will begin at 9 a.m. on the Hurleyville Rail Trail. And then there'll be a walk that starts at approximately 10 o'clock. And the trail cleanup will start in earnest between 10:30 and 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And there'll be celebrations afterwards. So please, if you have the time, come out and help participate in a very important project, keeping the trails clean. And before before I move on to the next subject, I just want to mention that don't forget to bring a few trash bags with you. But the Sullivan County Legislature, it has agreed to waive the disposal fees for trail trash brought if you bring them to the county-owned transfer stations between June 5th and June 13th. So there again, the county legislature has waived those disposal fees. So please keep that in mind as well. Moving on, our next subject, I just want to mention that the foreclosure redemption date has been extended to September 3rd, 2021. So once again, the foreclosure date has been moved forward to September 3rd, 2021. I had the honor of attending Sullivan County Community College's graduation at Bethel Woods. It was a gorgeous day, and it was a beautiful setting, and it was an honor to see all the graduates. We had a nice size nursing graduating class. Watch the pinning exercise that took place, and it was a joyous occasion to say the least. And I was very honored to attend and speak at that ceremony. And I want to congratulate all the graduates from the college and from all our high schools with the upcoming graduation. It's been a tough year. It's a year like we never saw coming, and we had to adapt in a lot of ways, and we did, and we succeeded. And thank you to all that made that possible. The last thing I'd like to mention today is we have Memorial Day coming up, and there's a lot of observances and celebrations regarding Memorial Day. It's a very special day, and the county is having its own ceremony at the Veterans Cemetery at 1 o'clock in Liberty, and that's on Sunset Lake Road. It's such an important day, and it's so nice to see many organizations, the fire districts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, too numerous to mention, that come out and take some time just to honor the day. It's so important. And that kind of wraps up the spring edition of Let's Talk Sullivan. And I want to once again thank Adrienne and Michelle for coming in and giving updates. And we'll have another edition coming up soon when we will touch on the topics that the legislature has been tackling. That's it for now. Until the next time, bye for now.